Can money buy happiness, or is it the root of all evil? Find out on this episode of Financial Fitness with. We have our first guest, Skylar, as she asks us the question:
What is money?
What is money, you ask? Well, it is obviously the most liquid form of currency that is used to purchase goods and services. Of course, money can't buy happiness, but it can buy the things that make you and me happy, like K-pop albums. For me, money can bring stress. Of course, I feel good when I get money on birthdays, but because I don't work, I feel like I am hyper-focused on prioritizing my purchases. I haven't ever necessarily felt ashamed of my family's financial situation because I understand that they are doing what they do to take care of us. Let me tell you a lesson that my father gave me when I was younger. I'll give you $10 every other week that you do your chores. You must decide what you'll do with this money, whether you save it or not. This is when I began saving until he stopped giving us money.
I just want you all to know that life happens. In the end, mandatory spending is much more important than discretionary spending, which is what I would be using this money for versus what my dad would be using the money for. So I would much rather this chore money to go towards our groceries than it would go to a K-pop album if I was using it.
This is when I learned that it is important to always have some money saved for emergencies because you'll never know when your source of income will just end. So what do I see my money life looking like in the future? Rich, of course. Well, hopefully I'll make around $100K as a civil litigation lawyer. Of course, money will be important in my life as I will need it for housing, groceries, hobbies, entertainment, and of course, K-pop albums. I'm not obsessed with K-pop. It's just music. I believe that my hyper focus on my work will impact my relationships as I will possibly prioritize my work over my friends. But in the end of the day, I am human, so I will try my best to give my time to my friends as well. When I have enough money, I will travel the world with my friends. I will go to concerts, I will make sure that my family is well off, and of course, once again, I will buy the K-pop album. Listen, don't shame me, it's extra money. Why would I not buy that Zero Base One album, okay? To change the topic, what is the first thing that you think of when you hear the word money? For me, it's broke. This is a word that describes how I feel after I impulsively buy something that I cannot return, meaning that I will not be getting that money back. I guess you could say that that is a negative feeling, but it also drives me to save my money and not make the same mistake that I made the last time. With this in mind, I will tell you my financial mistakes in the form of a reenactment. I was walking through a local K-pop store with my friends. I had already planted in my mind that I wouldn't buy anything, especially since I was going to a concert at the end of the next month. That was until I saw 2 albums that I knew I wanted, but I knew I did not want to spend the money on it. I also did not really know much about the inclusions or what the album looked like, so there was generally really no reason for me to buy the album other than the fact that I loved the songs that were on the album. My friend, seeing my indecisiveness, told me, if you're unsure, maybe we should just leave so you can think about this more. For some reason, this caused me to impulsively pick up both albums and buy them for the grand total of about $65. I opened one of the albums and realized that this was not necessarily the version that I actually wanted. I didn't really like the concept photos. It was very messy, Fast forward to now and I'm completely broke. I went to the concert, I bought merch, I'm broke now. And of course, now I find out that the group whose album that I bought and didn't really like the photos is now making another album with photos that I actually like a concept that I like. And now, of course, I have no money to buy it. Great. If only I just gave myself the chance to assess my values and the value that I put on these albums to see and realize that I really didn't think that it was worth how much I was spending for it. I probably wouldn't have bought the albums impulsively, and I would have probably been $60 richer, which is $60 that I could have put towards this album. So that is my money story. And it all started with just the word money. So what really is money? Does money buy happiness? Is money the root of all evil? Will we ever know? We're all just trying to figure out how to use money. And although resources are scarce, the truth is, what comes around goes around. The money will come back. And hopefully I can still buy that Zero Base One album.